different kind of reading today. It's going to be more on the political side. So since there's a lot going on right now with news coverage revealing that Trump dropped, I don't know, 3 bombs on Iran. And so we're going to be talking about that. And President Massoud, which is the Iranian president, this video is going to be more focused on him and how he feels, what his response is going to be to these bombings from the U.S. There were a couple of things that came through before I turned on the camera, and that was assassination attempt. So there is going to be an assassination attempt, and I'll probably touch on that more in the reading. But that's what I got clearly. Also, United States is going to have to up its security. I'm hearing national security, but at the same time, I'm getting squirming their way into like a loophole. So squirming their way into retaliation towards the United States in a way that you don't take notice of. And then I also got that the reason why Donald Trump has been kind of like travel banning certain areas is because this has been they've been planning this for some time now, I would say for a couple of months, on how they were going to deal with the Israel and Iran situation. And that is one of the reasons why Donald Trump had started banning all of these travels to these countries or receiving residents from these countries due to the exposure of a possible threat, which is now happening at this time. I'm getting like insurgents. I'm not sure what that means. Hold on, let me look it up. All right, so insurgents is like a rebel or a group of people that are fighting for a revolution, right? And they're willing to do anything. They're ready to put their lives on the line for the purpose, for the cause. And that's what I'm getting here. The reason why Trump banned a lot of these countries, specifically like countries in Africa and whatnot, is because of possible insurgents coming through into the country as retaliation to this bombing that's taking place now. Okay, so everything has been pre-planned and pre-thought out. I mean, in a murder case, you would say premeditated, right? And I'm hearing like things are going along as planned as far as what the game plan was on making this happen. All right, so this is not just Donald Trump waking up one day saying let's bomb Iran. Allegedly, what I'm feeling is that this has been strategically planned and thought about and talked about for quite some time now. Now, the reason why they did it when they did it, I'm not too sure. We can look into that if we have time. But what I was also getting, the message I was getting was that we as a people need to like expand our minds. Because, for example, even myself, you know, I said, okay, I want to do this reading on the president of Iran, and I didn't even know his name. I didn't even know what he looked like. I didn't know who he was. And I think that especially with countries that are troubled right now or are in wars or having disputes of some kind, we should really know these people that's leading these countries, how they got into office, as much information as we can get to just make ourselves aware and knowledgeable. And it helps us to not just believe everything that we see or read, but I also know the background information of things. You know, you see a lot of cases where people have no idea who a person is, what their background is, nothing of that nature. And then you see a story about them and all of your judgments are based off of that one story about that person and you know nothing else about them. So I just want to say that to say, like, we need to do our own background checks on countries, on leaders, and just kind of be more knowledgeable in that case, and not just jump to conclusions when we read a story or we hear something on the news, okay? And that's not just talking about the Iranian president right now. That was just an example, but just in general. All right, so again, like I said, I don't know anything about this president, Masood, but I am going to go into his energy right now so I can learn a few things. And I'm glad that you guys are here with me so you can learn as well. The spiritual side, right? Okay. All right, so source, give me the energy of President Masood, the Iranian president. What is his energy at this time? And this time I'm going to spread out the cards like I usually do. I'm hearing that you guys prefer me to spread out the cards and just pick them out than for me to just shuffle and pick out 3, okay? So, all right, so we got the cards here. Let's see, there's the cards, and I'm going to pick out 3. Masood's energy right now. And I want to get this one here. That's kind of messed up. Okay. Thank you, source. All right, President Masood, the Iranian president. What is his energy right now? Let's take a look. Child orphan. Independence based on learning to go it alone, conquering fear of surviving. Okay, so I wouldn't be surprised if this president did grow up as an orphan or lost his parents young, and really had to, he had to grow up really fast and take care of himself. So he had to become independent at a very young age. And so with what's going on right now, it doesn't scare him. He doesn't feel any type of fear because of what just happened. It's kind of like he's already used to handling situations and being in survival mode. We have the shadow side, feelings of abandonment that stifle maturation, seeking inappropriate surrogate families. So I do also feel that President Masood do have other countries in his corner. Now, whether those countries are going to show themselves or not, he does have them in his corner helping him out, okay? We have teacher. Wow. Ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, or wisdom. And remember, I told you that he does have other countries in his corner. Here goes the teacher that has a globe and showing these other places, right? These other, well, here it's kind of look like planets, but it's also different locations. So that does tell you a lot. You know, does he have other species helping him out as well? Or are these just other countries? So that's some food for thought. But it does goes to show that he is a mentor, he is a teacher, and he is a very smart person, okay? He had a very great education, and if he didn't have a great education as schooling wise, he self-taught himself a lot of things that he needed to know in order to be a leader. Okay, so this man is incredibly independent. He's incredibly expanded in the mind, and I wouldn't be surprised as well if he may speak different languages. All right, we have manipulating or abusing students, teaching negative traits and destructive skills. Now, because I don't know him personally, I can't really speak to this, but what I can say is that if he is manipulating others or teaching them destructive skills, then that is going to further enhance his own destructiveness, okay? So depending on how this whole situation goes, you'll be able to figure out whether this man has been doing this or not. Because when you're manipulating others and teaching them how to be destructive just as you are, then you're going to see your failure even quicker. So depending on how the situation goes, whether he's triumphant and still is there leading his country, lets you know what kind of leader he is, what kind of teacher he is, okay? We have prostitute. Oh, wow, interesting. Accentuates the challenge of surviving without negotiating. Oh, wow. Okay, again, we have two cards talking about survival. Okay, so President Massoud is definitely in survival mode right now. And let me tell you, like, these people know how to survive, okay? They can live off of barely anything because a lot of the times that's how their childhood was. They lived off of barely anything and they had to figure out survival techniques and methods. So he's definitely a fighter. He's not going to go down without a fight. And he's definitely in this for the long run. He's not going anywhere, okay? It talks about the challenge of surviving without negotiating the power of his spirit. So he is going to take the long run with this fight, and he's also not going to, he's going to remain close with his ancestors. He's going to remain going to them for guidance. He's not going to be overcome by what I see here with this prostitute card, with all this money and materialistic profit. Okay, he's not falling for it. So I feel like he was offered money in exchange for silence or putting away his ideals, and he didn't take it. We have here the shadow side places material considerations and security above self-empowerment. That I don't think is the case, because if that was the case, they wouldn't be in the situation they are now as a country, okay? If he would have just taken whatever, whoever gave him some type of material means or some value of some kind to kind of control him and manipulate him, then I don't think he would be in the situation where his country is getting bombed on, right? Okay, so that is what I got with these archetype cards. Pretty interesting, guys. Pretty interesting. Okay. Tell me in the comments, too, what you think about these archetypes for him. Did they catch you by surprise? Are you not surprised? What do you think? It's pretty interesting, too, like I said, with this looking like planets here coming out of the globe, and then you have him sitting on the planets and the planets around him. So I definitely feel like the universe is actually supporting President Massoud right now. Okay. Okay. All right, first question I want to ask is, did the U.S. bomb Iran? Okay. Yes, I know that we saw that in the news channels, but we can't believe everything we hear and see. So I want to know if it actually happened. So did the U.S. bomb Iran? Is that news factual? Is it true? Queen of Wands. Okay, I'm getting that there was someone or a group who was not interested in bombing Iran. They weren't for it, but Donald Trump wanted to do it anyway. He feels like, here's the eagle, right? He feels like he has the support of the government to do basically what he wants to do. And it doesn't matter how this other person or other group feels about it. And I also feel like a sense of like Donald Trump being like, if I'm going to be judged on it, so be it. It is what it is. when that time comes, then that's what I'll do with that. But this is what I think we should do. So I feel like Donald Trump was vindicated in thinking that this was the right way to go. So yes, I do feel that this actually happened, and it's behind someone else's back. So let me see, who is this other person who did not want this to take place, and it caught them by surprise as well. Can you show me who that is, Joyce? All right, it's definitely a woman. Okay, this woman here has a say-so and is in Donald Trump's ear. I don't know if this is his daughter, but this is someone. Excuse me, guys. This is someone that's close to him and advised him not to do this. Okay? She was like, don't do this. This is not the right way to go. We don't need, to have something like this in our country. And he did it anyway. Okay? So let me ask real quick. I don't know who this woman is, but let me ask, how did she feel? How did this woman feel that Donald Trump did this attack anyway against what she advised? How does she feel that he did it anyway? Let's see. Fake busy. I love you. Twin flames. Okay. So I definitely feel like this is his daughter, because she still doesn't have any animosity towards him. And I feel like if this was more of like a friend or someone in the government, they would have more like animosity in these cards. But because it's more of like, I love you, I care about you. I don't feel like this is his wife. I don't feel like, I know with this I love you and the proposal, I'm not getting energetically that this is his wife. I'm getting more so like it being his daughter. Okay? But this person still, Donald Trump can do no wrong in their eyes. And this person has so much respect for Donald Trump that they feel like even if he goes against their advice, that he has reasoning for it. There's something that he knows. If he's not telling me what that is, it's because he's protecting me. So that person feels like whatever Donald Trump did as far as these bombings were concerned, it was something that needed to be done based off of information that he has. And that's information that she doesn't need to know about, because that could put her life in jeopardy. So, all right, let me see here. I am going to ask, how did President Massoud feel? How did President Massoud feel about the U.S. bombing Iran? Okay, these are my feelings cards. How did President Massoud feel about U.S. bombing Iran? Oh, that card fell off. So let's see what that card is that fell, okay? Love. So because it fell off the table, like gone, it means that any positive energy he had about the United States has now, it's no longer there, okay? And he was very angry, okay? Very, very angry. All right. Okay. Let me see. What are President Massoud's, I'm going to ask two questions. What are President Massoud's feelings towards Donald Trump at this time? What's President Masood's feelings towards Donald Trump at this time? Okay, so you guys don't get confused by these cards. These are usually for love relationship cards, okay? But it also still tells you something because they do have a certain type of relationship, okay? So, I feel like President Masood did have a friendship or some type of relationship with Donald Trump whereby they communicated with each other. They had some type of working relationship or a money relationship, something, okay? So I feel like they have known each other in the past. But now at this time, it's kind of like a betrayal and him feeling like, okay, you know, like all of y'all motherfuckers are the same. You know, you can't trust none of y'all. Y'all, I look at the card, true colors. I see who you are. I truly, truly see who you are. So let's go. Okay, now, let me see. How does President Masood feel about the United States as a whole? How does he feel about the country of the United States? He feels like we talk a good talk as a country, but we got a whole bunch of issues and problems. It's like being with that person that talks a good game, but they got debts. You know, they paying child support. They ain't got a car, you know. Just, I'm getting like fraud. Like, you guys are frauds. You make it seem as though it's like an illusion. You make it seem as though you're this great country, but you're barely surviving. That's the energy I'm getting from him. Okay. And at the bottom of the deck, we have goodbye and family. So I feel like he feels Americans are very individualistic and are not family oriented. We only think about ourselves. Okay. Wowzers. All right. I was going to make this just about President Masood, but I'd have to admit that I am curious about how Donald Trump feels about doing these bombings. Okay, so first I want to ask, why did Donald Trump feel the need to bomb Iran? Why did he feel the need to do it? Source, why did Donald Trump feel the need to bomb Iran? Why did he feel the need to bomb Iran? Okay, so again, it shows this Queen of Wands here. I don't know if you guys remembered her from before. That same woman that Donald Trump really listens to, okay? If you see here on the Hermit card, it's in reverse, and you have the Star of David, right? Which reminds you of Israel. Israel, the flag, I believe, has this star. So it was upside down. And Donald Trump was like, we have to make sure that Israel knows that we are in its corner. Right now, Israel is stuck and they need our help. And we can't continue to watch and wait for things to get better. Donald Trump was also waiting for something to take place. It was like for someone to get to the country. Is the Israeli president, where is he? Because he may be allegedly in the United States. But it was like, we need to protect this person, and then we need to protect Israel. So it has to do with Israel, allegedly. Okay, let me ask this question. Is Israel the country, is its energy feminine, more feminine, or masculine? Show me Israel the country, source. Show me Israel the country. Just want to check something, guys. It's feminine. It's like feminine and masculine. This is Israel and this is the United States. There's something going on here. Something more in the background. I'm going to have to do another separate reading just on Israel itself, because there's something about Israel that the United States always feels like it needs to come to its rescue. And if you look at Israel here, it's like they have things under control. Not only does she have two motorcycles, not only does she doesn't just have one motorcycle, she has two motorcycles, right? And even though it seems like her hand is damaged and bruised there from fighting, she's still like willing to just go down and do what she needs to do. And here is United States coming to the rescue. But it also seems like United States is also trying to get what they want out of Israel as well, allegedly. Okay. Okay. Really interesting stuff. So let's see how Donald Trump felt about making the decision to bomb Iran. So how does Donald Trump feel now that he has bombed Iran? How does he feel about bombing Iran? How does Donald Trump feel about bombing Iran, source? Spiritual gifts, fed up, love message. Let's see some more. Didn't I tell you guys that I kept getting him like talking to his daughter, or feeling like he let his daughter down because he made this decision? Now we have like love child, love message. Okay, to be honest with you guys, like Donald Trump feels as though he hopes he didn't let the country down by making this decision. I do feel like he is, look at taking off. I don't think that he's going to stay in this situation for long, the dealing with the Iran thing. I feel like it's like bomb and run. But I feel like he's kind of angry at himself because he feels as though he doesn't know if he made the right decision. He doesn't know if he made the right decision because I feel like there was a download that was dropped into his mind. I don't know if it's mind control or what, but it was dropped into his mind and he was like, okay, we're gonna do it now. Okay. All right, so I want to know, what does this mean for the United States and for Iran? What is going to be his response? So, let me see here. What is going to be President Massoud's response to the bombing? What is going to be his response? What is he gonna do? What is he planning? Source, show me. The Empress, the Hermit, the Tower. Wow. Okay. All right. When you ask, you know, what's going to be someone's response, you never want to see the Tower. Okay. So, and then that also makes me think about New York, right? With the Twin Towers that went down. Hold on, guys. Let's see. What is going to be President Massoud's response to the bombing? Show me source. What's President Massoud's response? Oh, wow. Okay. So we have the Tower and then we have the Cross in reverse, okay? And this card basically says sacrifice, down for the cause, release, let go, giving up, surrender. Puts other first for the greater good, heroic effort, but it was in reverse, okay? I feel like whatever retaliation that's going to take place, I feel like it's going to be an isolated event. And I feel like it's going to be blamed on something else. So it's not going to be revealed that this was a retaliation from Iran, allegedly. I feel like it's going to be blamed on a different organization, party, whatever the case. It's not going to, they're not going to connect it to Iran, even though it's going to be Iran that orchestrated the event. Okay. I feel like I'm getting like Virginia or like Pennsylvania. Kind of like it's going to be very symbolic, like where the forefathers were or something like that, you know? And then we have here handcuffs, defenseless, handicapped, detained by external forces, applying force, incapacitated, feeling powerless. Okay, so they are not playing around. And I usually don't like to do readings like this, but I also have to say what I see. And this is not for us to be fearful of what can possibly happen, but this is just a way for us to just know, you know, this is in the energy right now, in the aura, because of decisions that leaders are making. Okay, now let me see. Now, if this were to take place, how would President Massoud feel if this were to take place, this event that you're speaking about now, Source? How would President Massoud feel after this were to take place? Wow. Silly. Okay. Fear and love. Interesting. Why fear, love? Why both of these, fear and love here? And we got joy. We got joy, but then we also have fear again. So he is going to be fearful about what will take place after this, if this does happen. But in the moment, he's still going to enjoy the satisfaction of what he's caused. Okay. I'm going to ask, how are the American people going to feel if this were to take place? Source. How would the American people feel if this were to take place? Okay, they're going to be feeling, oh, interesting. All right, so I am getting like fake news. Fake news. Okay. So remember when I told you like they're going to make it seem like it's a different organization, like it's nothing connected with Iran. And so when people initially hear about this, they're not going to believe it. Let me get some other cards here. Let's see. Let's use this here. How are the American people going to feel about this event here? We already got some people are not going to believe it. How are the American people going to feel about this event here? So, oh my gosh. Okay, so people are going to be really like about that life. Who is this Queen of Swords? This is really interesting because what I'm seeing is that there's going to be a woman that's going to take over from Donald Trump. I don't feel like he's going to get impeached. What's going to happen with Donald Trump? This sounds really weird, allegedly. I just feel like he's like fleeing the country, being attacked, or putting us in a situation that like really F's us over, and then him like fleeing the country. Remember I was talking about like bombing and running? And then there's gonna be like this woman that comes in. Queen of Swords, the High Priestess, starting over. And this is like something that we decide. We make the decision to have this woman in place. Okay. It's pretty interesting. All right. Yeah, look, this is a man overseas, like this, a man in water. But it's like Donald Trump is just fine though, because let me ask, hold on, let me just ask directly right now. Okay. Who is this woman that I'm seeing that's going to take over, Source, once Donald Trump is out of office? Who is she? Tell me about her. Yeah, it's like this is who the universe also wants to put in place to fix all the problems that have been brought about. All right, and so let me ask again, what's going to happen with Donald Trump? Why does she take over? Why did she take over, Source? If you see here too, they're not showing her face quite yet. I feel like Donald Trump is going to be in fear for his life, and he's no longer going to trust being in the United States, and he's going to just walk away and go overseas. This is what I'm getting allegedly. But he is going to have a lot of resources. He is going to still have a lot of money at his disposal. So he's not going to be off. He's going to still be well off and be able to live the luxurious lives that he has been living. That's what I'm getting. Okay, after a while, I do feel like he's going to feel as though he did let the American people down. Let me ask these cards about President Massoud. I already asked the tarot, but let me ask these. Source, what does President Massoud want to do now in regards to United States? What is President Massoud planning? What is he thinking? What does he want to do? Okay, I gotta turn these upside down. Oh, wow. Declaration of... And I told you guys, it's like something that has historical, symbolic... Didn't I mention the forefathers? Like, it's a place where the forefathers met. Where was that? Pennsylvania? Virginia? Look at that. We have a long... I told you it's going to be an isolated event. An isolated event. This could be a young person, a fire sign, even a married couple. Yeah. I see two people, like a married couple, and an isolated event. And it may not even be something that happens right now. It may be something that happens later on in the future. And, you know, the American people doesn't connect it with Iran because it's so much after these bombings. But they're like, we didn't forget. You know, people plan and they're strategic as to how they're going to carry out certain acts. And like I told you with those other cards, he's a person that has survival methods. Let me ask here, what is the fate of President Massoud? Because I told you guys before I saw an assassination attempt. Allegedly. What is the fate of President Massoud? The Star. Queen of Swords. There's that Queen of Swords again. Three of Wands. Temperance. This is crazy, but I think that United States is going to get to a point where they're going to partner up with President Massoud. If it's not with President Massoud, it's with the country of Iran. But I see this new person going into leadership actually like visiting, or him visiting us, or them going to like a mutual safe place to visit. I feel like this is going to be in secret. I don't think anyone is going to know about it. Let me ask, is this going to be a secret meeting or public? Source, is this a secret meeting or public? The World. Okay, so it is going to be public. It is going to be public. Okay. All right. So the moral of the story is that there will be peace. There will be peace talks. There will be peace. I hear my son, he keeps coughing. So is this, let me see. Is there going to be an assassination attempt on President Massoud's life? Source. That Queen of Swords right now. Okay, this new person in leadership definitely doesn't think that way, and it's not about assassination attempts. They want to make that perfectly clear, but they also want to say that there is someone else here who is looking at their options to see the best route to go. If it's not President Massoud, allegedly, it could be someone close to him. Maybe he was the target, but this person actually ended up getting the brunt. Okay. You know what I'm curious about right now? How does the people of Iran feel about President Massoud? How does the people of Iran feel about President Massoud? Got turning your back. Too late. Legal matters. Wow. Not happy. Ooh, okay, so his people are not happy with him. They're not happy with him. Guilt, embarrassed, in the wrong. No strings. Okay, so what I see here is the people of Iran feel like the president needs to be figuring out ways how to have peace rather than stirring things up to make things worse. That's what they feel. They feel that he's no longer thinking about his people, but it's more about ego and pride. Okay, they're saying that there were solutions that could have taken place to end all this, but he's not using those options. He's just kind of doing his own thing. All right, that's gonna be it, guys. Let me just ask this. What is the theme source that you want us to know at this time with Iran? What is the theme of all of this? Why is this all happening? What do we need to know? The universe is your partner, okay? So just believe that the universe is on your side. And everything that happens is in our hands. We can decide to change things tomorrow and things will be changed. We can decide to change things this instant and things will be changed. Source, what else do you want us to know about this situation? Okay. Okay. And I definitely feel like they're saying this is not going to be like a Twin Tower situation. There is going to be some type of retaliation, though. There is. It's kind of like the dynamite has already been lit, and so the outcome is going to come out of that. Well, look at the bottom of the deck, guys. Olive branch with the dove and the flag in reverse. It's like your leadership could have used this opportunity to provide peace, but instead escalated it. And now we're just dealing with the outcome of that. Okay. I feel like this is the description of Donald Trump: competent, superior, feels superior, sharp tongue, witty, intense, showdown, well, skilled is there, excel, arrogant, and first class. And they're like, he's not stopping. Source, what do you think about Donald Trump? What do you want to say about Donald Trump real quick? I'm going to get 3 cards, sis. I love how it says stubborn. Ready for anything. He's persistent. He's devoted. You know, Source is acknowledging that Donald Trump has, when he has a goal in mind, he's working towards that goal, and there's no one that can deter him from it. If he says that's what it is, then that's what it is, and that's what it will be. Okay. But even Donald Trump has to admit that the way that he saw the outcome going with this is not what actually happened. And in this moment, he is regretting bombing Iran. All right. And we'll show that this will be the last, because I don't think I asked this before. All right, let's see. Let me shuffle. Source, at this point, how does Trump feel about bombing Iran? At this point, Source, how does Trump feel about bombing Iran? At this point, how does he feel about bombing Iran? Wow, joy, guys. Wow. All right, any other feelings about how Donald Trump feels about bombing Iran? Okay, so because more cards came out, I'm going to say that initially he felt joy. All right, there's love. Okay. Fear. Fear. Okay. So these are the initial feelings, like happy. The mission went perfectly. But now he has double fear. So he is afraid of what that means for his loved ones and for the economy. Okay. All right. And that is the end of the reading, guys. I hope you all enjoyed that. And until next time, I'll be doing a video on Trump pretty soon. So we'll see how that goes. But I would say for you guys to continue living your best lives, praying for yourself, praying for the world, and just being happy. The more that you're happy, trust and believe the vibrations of that is going to ripple effect throughout the whole world. And yes, that's how much we're so connected to one another. With you being happy, it will ripple effect throughout the world and change the frequency. Okay? All right. Until next time, it's Goddess Chrissy. Bye.